to you on free-to-air TV by Bulls Live and Proper Sport. We'll go through the two sides, Doncaster and Richard Horn, who's making huge inroads and waves here in South Yorkshire in 2018. Liam Harris at fullback, with three-quarter line of Sam Doherty, Liam Wellham, Jason Tarley and Aaron Jones-Bishop. In the halves, Jordan Howden and Jack Miller. The front row forwards, Russ Spears, Kieran Cross, Ryan Boyle, Charlie Martin, Jack Downs and Brandon Wilkinson, the Scotland international and former Bradford Academy product. And immediately from the restart, Joe Keys' restart has found touch, dead in goal. It will be a repeat set of 6 from the Bradford Bulls. And just when you thought Doncaster should be moving the ball out from their own 10, John, the Bulls have struck gold, catching Doncaster perhaps a little bit nervy.
Yeah, good kick-off there, kept it low and the bounce took it over the end of the field. Be interesting now to see what Bradford do from here. Free set of 6, to be honest, isn't it, what we weren't expecting.
So James Laithwaite for the Bradford Bulls, just outside the Doncaster 20. Hallison at dummy half to Bustin. Bustin brought down there in a two-man tackle by Boyle and Spears. Hallis to Keys. Keys to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Chisholm. Chisholm back after serving a one-match suspension. Gives the ball to Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan's a metre shy of the line. And the referee's going to say Ethan Ryan has promoted the ball forward, and that has got the Bull supporters on the feet in the far corner. The referee this afternoon is Billy Pearson from Wakefield. And Doncaster, their first penalty of the afternoon. Ethan Ryan denied a try. We've only had 90 seconds on the clock. And Bradford will now defend as Doncaster tap the ball from their own 20. So out of dummy half from Kieran Cross. Cross is going to find Boyle. He's wrapped up just on the Doncaster 30. You've got Minchella and Laithwaite in defence, and it is going to be Minchella and Laithwaite once again for the Bulls. 15 shy of halfway. Cross. Bit of miscommunication. They've gone without the ball. Picked up by Minchella. Minchella to Crossley. Steve Crossley on the zero tackle. Quick play the ball. The Bulls have numbers. Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm's wrapped up 5 metres out from the Doncaster line, and it is an early penalty to the Bradford Bulls. So the penalty count 1 apiece, and we're already seeing such a fast, frenetic pace start here. Bulls are going to not go for 2. They're going to keep the pressure going. They're going to hunt for the try, and it's going to be Sam Hallis who will tap the ball, and he'll give it to Elliot Minchella on tackle number 1. Minchella brought down underneath the sticks. Chisholm to Keys. Keys to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Gibson. Ashley Gibson against Aaron Jones-Bishop, and he's been held up over the line there. Jason Tarley, the Papua New Guinean international, coming in and holding him up there. So Gibson will go back to the 10. And he's going to play the ball 10 metres out from the line. It's going to be Keys to Bustin. Bustin's brought down 10 metres out from the line, still going forward down the middle channel there. They're underneath the post, the Bradford Bulls. As we said, both sides just one defeat. It goes to Keys. Keys is going to try and pirouette his way towards the line, and he's going to be wrapped up just a metre shy of the Doncaster line. Hallison at dummy half is going to give it to James Laithwaite. James Laithwaite is pushed back in the field of play, and it is the last tackle. Hallis to Keys. Crossfield kick from Keys, looking to put pressure on the Doncaster line. Matt Garside, in his 200th career appearance, is going to trap the Doncaster winger in goal, and there is going to be a repeat set of 6 coming up here for the Bradford Bulls. We've had just shy of 4 minutes gone. Bulls Live, Proper Sport, and it's Bradford enjoying the early pressure, John.
Yeah, some big hits going in, some good defence from Minchella and Laithwaite led to an early break there. Yeah, some good sets. For me, I'd just like to see a bit more passing of the ball there. I think we had them on the rack there a couple of times, but look, it's early days. What are we, 4 minutes in, and Bradford have had loads of possession so far.
So Doncaster Doncaster with the goal line dropout. It goes to Joe Keys. Keys to Busting. Busting down this right-hand edge. 20 metres inside that Doncaster half. The crowd certainly enjoying themselves this afternoon. Hallison at dummy half. It goes down there with Crossley. Crossley down the middle. And Crossley's going to be wrapped up just outside the 20. So Hallis is going to find Keys. Keys along the line to Chisholm. Chisholm tries to drop the shoulder and break through. And he's going to be wrapped up there by three hungry Doncaster defenders. 10 metres in from that far stand side, in the sunshine here at the Keepmoat. Garside twisting and turning, wrapped up. Fourth tackle gone here for John Keir's side. It's going to go from Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm in the pocket to Crossley. Crossley's going to be brought down 5 metres out from the Doncaster line, centre of the field. It's the last tackle, says referee Billy Pearson. It's going to go from Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm crossfield kick, looking for Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan, a fantastic try in at the corner, and it is 4-0 to the Bulls. Well, we do apologise for the break in communication there. The Doncaster stewards telling us to move from our position. This was all predetermined and agreed, and quite amateur from Doncaster, it's sad to say. So, Ethan Ryan with the opening try from the Bradford Bulls. 4-0 the lead.
Providing you this side, we'll be fine. Cheers, mate. All right.
Joe Keys lining up the conversion attempt. Over on the far stand side. We've just found a new commentary position a little bit further on in the stand, so it is Bulls Live, it is proper sport. And it is Doncaster 0, Bradford Bulls 4 here at the Keepmoat. And Joe Keys will attempt the conversion attempt out on the far stand side. 47 attempts from 61 thus far in 2018. He's kicking at 75%, and the loud roar of Keys will tell you it is 6-0 in favour of the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, mate, great start. A good kick from Dane. What a claim there from Ethan. Joe there struck the ball over there, a bit effortless really. Let's hope now we can get another score pretty quick, but a good start from the Bulls.
So Bulls Live and proper sport. We'll just go through the Bradford Bulls lineup for those that are joining us a little bit late. Brandon Pickersgill at fullback, wing three-quarter line of Jai Hitchcock, Ashley Gibson, Lee Smith and Ethan Ryan. The halves are Joe Keys and Dane Chisholm. Front row forwards Callum Busting, Sam Hallis and Steve Crossley. Matt Garside in his 200th career appearance, and James Laithwaite. The second row forwards, the loose forward is Elliot Minchella, and on the interchange bench George Flanagan, Liam Kirk, Mikey Wood and Ross Peltier. As we already mentioned, there's no Dalton Grant. He suffered a family bereavement, and Vila Halafihi and Liam Johnson both rested this afternoon. And Bradford just losing the ball there, but it come off a Doncaster arm, John. So referee Billy Pearson is going to give head and feet to the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, it was a one-on-one strip actually. I thought they were offside when we picked the ball up there quickly from the back of the ruck. But anyway, got a scrum 25 metres out, so let's see if we can make some progress here.
Doncaster sold out all the hospitality boxes ahead of this one, and that east stand where you're looking on the Bulls Live proper sports stream. Great to see Doncaster and Bradford attracting a huge crowd here in South Yorkshire for this afternoon's fixture. As we said, Doncaster coming to this game on the back of 5 victories, just one defeat, as Dane Chisholm breaks clear on that left-hand edge. And Bradford, they're inside the Doncaster 30. Doncaster's only defeat in the league this season against York. Pickersgill takes the offload from Crossley. Along the line it goes to Smith, and Lee Smith's going to be brought down. 15 out from the Doncaster line. Hallis now in at dummy half. Down the middle with Crossley. Crossley sucks in the defence, finds Keys. Keys to Laithwaite. James Laithwaite He looked for the inside support from Brandon Pickersgill. And Brandon Pickersgill just overrun the pass. The pass has gone to ground, and scoreboard remains 10 minutes gone on the clock. It is Doncaster 0, Bradford Bull 6, John.
Yeah, if James had looked outside him there, Keys had pushed on. I thought there's a knock on actually then when Doncaster collected the ball from the pass back, but they didn't obviously so. But Bradford are still playing well. We've gone 80 metres out up the other end of the field. Great break by Dane Chisholm.
Bulls Live Proper Sport. Mick Liddell, John Keys calling the action here. Free to air, free to stream. And Doncaster wrapped up on the fifth and last tackle just inside their own 20. The kick's going to come in from Miller. James Laithwaite's going to react quickest, and he's going to be brought down. 10 inside the Doncaster half, as we said. Doncaster just one defeat in League One in 2018, and that was here at the Keepmoat, a narrow 16-14 loss against the York City Knights, who were in action this afternoon against the West Wales Raiders. Hallis goes down the middle, brought down, 2 in the tackle there, centre of the field, 15 inside the Doncaster half. It's going to go to Crossley. Crossley's going to be brought down on the 20. Hallis now purring in that dummy half position. Along the line, Chisholm, reverse pass to Midchella, 10 tries already for John Keir's side in 2018. Hallis, they're going on that left-hand side with Chisholm. Chisholm has lost the ball in heavy contact, 0 tackle. They'll have the free play here, will Doncaster. Doncaster, well, that is a huge relief and huge respite there from Richard Horne's side, because they've had to do a lot of defending. 11 minutes gone here at the Keepmoat Stadium, and as we said, Doncaster in 2018, a different quality altogether. They lost Palliasina to retirement. Lewis Sharif went to Hemel Hempstead. Ryan Wright went to the Keighley Cougars. Michael Warranty was released. And when you look at the players and the calibre of players they brought in, Ryan Boyle, Connor Bauer, Liam Harris, Jez Litton, Jordan Lane, Ross Osborne, Jack Sanderson, and of course Brandon Wilkinson from the Bradford Bulls. Richard Horne really is making a huge impression here at the Keepmoat Stadium. So it's going to go from Cross. Cross is going to find Spears, the former ex-Wakefield man, floats it out wide to Jack Downs, and here come Doncaster down the middle. Miller in support. Miller's away inside the 20. It's a hospital pass though from Jack Miller, and it's come off a Bradford arm. The referee's going to say it was touched there by Ethan Ryan and Joe Keys, and it's going to be a scrub to Doncaster 10 metres out from the Bradford line. Jack Miller, I'm sure if he put his head down, John, he would have been home and hosed. It was almost like the home run. He didn't back himself, but still Doncaster, they'll put the Bulls under pressure here. 12 minutes gone. Bulls Live, Proper Sport. It is Doncaster 0, Bulls 6.
Yeah, I think if he'd have backed himself there, he'd have scored. I think Bradford overcommitted there, and Doncaster got some numbers on the right-hand side. Great cover defence from Ethan Ryan. I'm not sure that ball actually went forwards, you know. But anyway, we are where we are, scrum on the 10.
Doncaster then. Best field position thus far in this Betfred League One encounter. Penalty count's going to be levelled up at 2 penalties apiece. Bradford have been adjudged to have stolen the ball. The referee will stop the clock just shy of the 13th minute mark. And as we said, Liam Wellham, the younger brother of Chris Wellham, over on that right-hand edge, he had that initial break, and it was that support play back on the inside. And Jack Miller. So Doncaster, they're going to tap the ball. They're looking for potentially 4 points, potentially 6. Here goes Russ Spears. He's over the line. That's got the Doncaster supporters on the feet. Callum Busting coming at the side there with Brandon Pickersgill. So Pickersgill and Busting holding the experienced ex-Wakefield and York City Knights man Russ Spears up. The 10 away from the line. It's going to go from Miller. Miller on that diagonal towards that right-hand edge. There's a pass off the floor. The referee says it's good, and they're going to come down the middle channel with Liam Wellham once more, and the younger brother of Chris Wellham enjoying himself against the Bulls in the sun this afternoon. A bit of a show and go from Cross at dummy half. He's held up over the line now, and that's 2 times in quick succession that Doncaster have been held up. And Kieran Cross will go back to the 10 on the 4th tackle, and he'll play the ball 10 metres out in a centre field position. Jordan Howden finds the support. Doncaster held up over the line for the third time, but referee Billy Pearson is going to penalise the Bulls markers. Not square. This is incessant pressure, John.
Very much so, and some good defence, but you know what? We're giving away some silly penalties at the moment. Is this a penalty or is it a play the ball? Oh, it's a penalty. Not square.
Doncaster looking to make this possession and pressure count. Five metres out from the line, cross is going to find Howden. Howden was sent to the sin bin last weekend in that 26-16 Challenge Cup defeat against Featherstone. Here goes cross at dummy half. He's going to come on this narrow stance side. And Jordan Howden is going to be brought down 5 metres out from the line. Cross out of dummy half to Spears. Spears throws the dummy, tries to get past Hallis, Minchella and Busting, and that's the 4th time in the last 2 minutes that Doncaster have been held up over that Bradford line. This is redoubtable and resilient Bulls defence. 15 minutes gone here. Howden, Doncaster out of sync there. Miller has to race back with the ball. Miller has ball in hand. He's going to invite Liam Harris. And Harris managing to offload the ball. And it's going to find Jack Downs. And Downs is there. 5 metres out from that Bradford try line. Cross out to Harris. Harris is going to find Wellham. And Wellham is wrapped up over on that right-hand edge. Lee Smith there. So too Dane Chisholm. And listen to the noise, John. Doncaster put the Bulls under a lot of pressure there. And John Keir's side, they've passed the defensive test. And now Bradford are going to be awarded their 3rd penalty. Oohs and ahs as Ryan Boyle, wearing 10, the former Halifax and Castleford man, is gone high. And it's a penalty to the Bulls, 8 metres out from the try line.
Yeah, some resolute defending there. A great run there from Ethan, first carry out. We managed to get possession back 5 yards from our own line. And now Keys has kicked us 30 yards up the field. But some fantastic defence there from the Bulls. We now need to get a bit of a foothold back in the game, I think.
Let us know in the comments where you're watching this afternoon's game from. It'll certainly be interesting. Joe Hansen says, awesome defence. Dennis Foley says, great defence. So too does Lynn Longmore. And so too does Deborah Lee Beater. So Proper Sport and Bulls live here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Hallis to Crossley. Crossley down the middle, finds the support from Minchella on the inside. Minchella against Harris, and Harris grapples with Minchella and brings him down. 5 out from the Doncaster line, centre of the field. And another penalty to the Bradford Bulls. Laying on in the tackle. Bradford will surely take the 2 points here. Points at a premium. We've had 17 minutes gone. Hallis will give the ball to Keys, the kicking king, as he's been christened in 2018. And this should put the Bulls 2 scores in front. And it's got to be said, John, it has been a bit of an indifferent opening 20 minutes because we've seen Bradford having a lot of pressure, but we've just seen, as we've seen so many times in rugby league, that pendulum has been swung and the momentum transferred to Doncaster.
It did. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't crack the tight Bradford defence. And then, you know, as I said, we've managed to keep them out. We've got possession back 5 yards from our own line. We've kicked a penalty 30 metres. 2 great carries, and now we're in front of the Doncaster 6, hopefully with another 2 guaranteed points here. As you say, Mick, 2 scores in front, and John is continuing his persistence with this year, that we take every point that's available.
Harvey Wiles watching, so too Kenny Lawson. We'll go through some of your comments after Joe Keys lines up this conversion attempt from the penalty. No mistake. Keys rings around the Keepmoat, and it is Doncaster 0, Bradford Bulls 8 on Bulls Live and Proper Sport here. We've had just shy of 20 minutes gone, and Bradford have a 2-score lead in this top of the table clash. Sean Crowther says he's watching. Christopher Barrell, no sound, or as Mick lost his voice through shouting. Certainly can assure you the sound. Great game so far, says Phil Patchett from Brighton. James Davis watching. He says Keys. Jack Belt watching. And Karsten Broom watching from Switzerland. Peter Worthington says, "Hi Mick, so glad we've found the proper Sport Bulls live coverage this afternoon. Keep up the good work." Well, we've got to thank Doncaster for allowing us to stream the match. Although we did have a couple of problems early doors. We've had to move our commentary position because it was in front of Richard Horne and Bradford. They'll move the ball on the restart just outside the 20. Hallis there in at dummy half to Garside. Garside's going to be brought down 18 shy of halfway. Hallis scoops it up, tries to show and go, taking on Wellham on that left-hand edge, and he's 8 shy now at halfway. 2 tackles remaining in this set of 6 for the Bulls. Lee Smith at dummy half to Chisholm. Chisholm to Keys. Keys tries to go through a gap, but he can't get past Charlie Martin. And Charlie Martin, the former Featherstone, Huddersfield giant forward, wraps up Joe Keys on the last tackle, and Dane Chisholm will be forced to kick downtown, and it's just caught the wind, and that will go dead in goal. It'll be a 7-tackle set, John.
Yeah, we got a bit confused there, didn't we, there on the last tackle, giving the ball to Joe Keys in the middle of nowhere. But listen, a 20-metre restart, all right, the 7 tackles, but Bradford defending well at the minute. We just need to continue, and I'd like to see the referee get a tighter grip on the game. I think there's been a couple of not squares that they play the ball. But hey-ho, penalties are pretty even, I think, so let's just see what we can do here now in this defensive set.
Pete Richards, this is great. Used to go to Wadsall with Northern, now in Kent. Brilliant coverage. Come on, your Bulls. And Doncaster making life difficult for John Keir's side this afternoon. Exactly a quarter of the game gone, and Callum Bustin's going to be penalised for laying on in the tackle. And that was Kieran Cross, who was trying to get a quick play of the ball in. And Jack Miller, he's going to find touch on the fast-hand side. And the penalty count now, 4 penalties apiece. So 30 metres out from that Doncaster try line. Wellham's going to tap it on tackle number 1, brought down in the sun just outside the 20. Minchella in defence with Garside. Frankie Mariano making his Doncaster debut. Just come on, wearing 28. And he's brought down 10 metres out just to the right-hand side of the post. Here they go, lateral movement. Liam Harris, the fullback, this afternoon, wrapped up by Keys. And Laithwaite for good measure. 3rd tackle gone. They're going to go down the middle channel. And they're 10 out from that Bradford line. To Miller. Miller to Downs. Downs drops the shoulder. And he's brought down on the 5th and last tackle. 5 metres away from that Bradford line. Trailing 8-0. Crossfield kick will come from Miller. Miller taken there by Hitchcocks. Jai Hitchcock showing all that experience, and he's brought down 5 metres out from his try line, and Bradford now will come at the Doncaster. Ash Gibson on tackle number 2. Hallis in there at dummy half, attacking the Doncaster markers. He's brought down just outside the 20. Bulls live and proper sport. 18 minutes to go to half time. Elliot Minchella will front up and go down the middle. 3 Doncaster defenders in defence there. Hallis appealing for a penalty. None forthcoming. Referee Billy Pearson had a long hard look at that. Decided that there was no penalty to be awarded. And Steve Crossley will be wrapped up on the last tackle. 7 metres shy of halfway. It goes from Hallis. Hallis to Keys. Keys is going to split Harris and Jones Bishop. And Jones Bishop, with 6 tries in 2018, he'll have Doncaster's 2nd 7-tackle set. And he'll tap it on the 20. He's brought down on the 30. That'll, of course, 0 tackle. And Doncaster have come up with an error. It's the free play. Lee Smith kicks forward. He's still going forward, Lee Smith. Lee Smith! He's got a touchdown for the Bradford Bulls. This one may not be given. We might need an inquiry, and referee Billy Pearson is going to talk to the touch judge. He's going to ask, was Lee Smith in front from the kick from Dane Chisholm? And he's going to say yes. It was the free play. It will be head and feed at the scrum to the Doncaster. It's gone against the Bulls. The touch judge on the fast-hand side, John, he sees something that nobody else saw.
He has, mate. To be honest, there was a penalty here when the held tackle had been called, and some guy runs into Steve Crossley at 100 miles an hour and whacks him in the back. poor again. I hope it's not like last week's game, but you know what? We've just got to take it on the chin and get on with it. We're doing pretty well here today, and I just think we just need to keep doing what we're doing.
Well, we don't have the benefit of a replay monitor this afternoon, but I would really like to have a look at that, because that decision did not play out how I saw it. Doncaster, though, they'll look to capitalise on that decision, and immediately James Laithwaite, Gibson, and also Crossler racing out of that Bulls defensive line. Good line speed from the Bulls as Charlie Martin is restricted to 8 metres, although Charlie Martin using that upper body strength to get past Keys and Gibson and carry Doncaster inside the Bradford half. Bulls live, proper sport, 15 out from half time. Garside with a bit of a body check there on Miller. Referee happy to let play continue. Cross out a dummy half down the middle, down the heart of the Bulls defence. And that will be the 5th and last tackle for Doncaster. And the touch judge has come on the field with a flag. And the referee is going to say it is now a 6th penalty of the afternoon to Doncaster, because somebody has thrown a punch in the tackle. So, referee Billy Pearson certainly stamping his authority on the match thus far. Doncaster, they're not going to go for 2 points. They're going to continue the pressure. And as we said, Doncaster, they have the penalty count. 6 penalties to 4. Susan Hemingway says, "Come on, you Bulls." It goes from Jordan Howden. And Howden, once again, intricate passing and good linking qualities between Howden and Miller in the halves. Very dynamic this afternoon. Connor Scott has just come on the field for Doncaster. The kick's going to come from Liam Harris. Liam Harris is going to find Aaron Jones-Bishop, and the Bulls have been found wanting on this near stand side. Brandon Pickersgill and Jai Hitchcock's there. Caught short, and Aaron Jones-Bishop, try number 7 of the season. And this one has a lot of legs and a lot of momentum. It is Doncaster 4, Bradford Bulls 8. The kick to come from Jordan Howden on this main stand side. What a fantastic game this is turning out to be, John.
Yeah, and it looks like it could be. My fear is it's going to be ruined by the 3 people in green, if I'm honest. A couple of strange decisions, 2 touch judges walking onto field and stopping tries. It's a good job Stuart Cummins in here, because he'll be talking for 2 hours. But Bradford have just got to get their heads back in gear. Time for some changes now, I think, but I'm still pretty confident.
Rich Smith watching Bulls Live Proper Sport. Come on, Donny, he says. And we're about to see Liam Kirk and George Flanagan enter the field. And Aaron Jones-Bishop, try number 7. John Kerr would have almost certainly done his homework on Aaron Jones-Bishop. Hallis and busting off Flanagan and Kirk on. Howden from this main stand touchline. Sweet as a dice. Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 8. This is what the Betfred League One is all about. Anybody in the comments tell me that Castleford and Wakefield was better than this?
Well, interesting. We've got to restart now. I just think that Bradford have really got to get their heads back in gear and do what they were doing. To be honest, Mick, we've defended a lot of sets, as you've said. But I think it was a pretty soft try, if I'm honest. I think we've got to do better than that.
Great creative vision, though, from Liam Harris, who peppered the ball behind Hitchcock and Pickersgill. And as we said, Aaron Jones-Bishop, a lot of toe. He run the footways and touched the ball down. And Doncaster now, they're up to halfway. Geordie Hedges wrapped up on his side. Minchella and Kirk in defence. It's going to be Jez Litton on loan from Hull FC in 2018, made his Super League debut last season against the Warrington Wolves at the KC Stadium, and Jez Litton will certainly inject a bit of authority and a bit of pace in that dummy half roll. And here he goes, Jez Litton on the last tackle on the power play. Here goes Jez Litton. Jez Litton's found the support of Howden, and Howden's brought down there by Jai Hitchcock's. Almost commentators cursed, John. I called it before it happened, but Jez Litton showing just what he can do, and Bradford will have to fine-tune the defence.
Just looking a bit tired in the middle, I think, Mick, aren't we? So I think we made a couple of changes. Flanagan's on already. I think Kirky's gone on, but yeah, they seem to be finding a few holes at the moment, don't they, Doncaster?
Ethan Ryan is brought down on the second tackle, just outside his own 10. Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm to Kirk. Kirk wrapped up and rolled over. Two Doncaster forwards there in that defensive line. It's going to go to Minchella. Loses his footing. The sun's gone behind the clouds. It's getting a little bit chilly here as it goes from Flanagan to Garside. Garside wrapped up. 15 shy of halfway. 5 in from that far stand side. Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm to Kirk. Kirk's going to be wrapped up there by Lytton. Mariano still out there. Last tackle, says the referee. Keys will kick from inside his own 40, and the bounce of the ball is going to be kind for Liam Harris. And Liam Harris tried to fool Ash Gibson there by promoting the ball towards Jones Bishop, but Hitchcox and Gibson, a lot of experience there as Lytton finds the Papua New Guinean international, Jason Tarley, and a forward pass out of dummy half, picked by the officials. That's only the third error of the afternoon from Doncaster, and they've put themselves under pressure with 10 minutes to go to half-time. Bulls Live Proper Sport, Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 8. Ethan Ryan with a try for the Bulls on 10 minutes. Aaron Jones-Bishop 15 minutes later, and that is where we're at in this Betfred League One encounter. Top of the table clash here. Harvey Wiles says the Bulls will get some decisions their way in the second half, mark my words. Carl Walker says Bulls markers half asleep. Hope Kia has a word or two at half time, and Jack Belt says he's watching in Bath. Ethan Ryan goes herring away on that left hand edge. His try this afternoon took him up to 5 tries for the season. And Bradford 10 away from that Doncaster line. Flanagan in at dummy half finds Chisholm. Chisholm to Keys along the line to Laithwaite, and the former Warrington and current Toronto Wolfpack loanee is wrapped up 5 away from that Doncaster line. It's going to go to Keys. Keys bullet pass to Chisholm. Chisholm drops the shoulder, tries to go down the middle. Loses the ball on the floor, picked up by Minchella, and Minchella's wrapped up. To ironic cheers from the Doncaster supporters. Flanagan to Kirk down the middle. Kirk, though, wrapped up, hungry, suffocating Doncaster defence. Last tackle, says the referee. Crossley puts a kick in, and that will be possession back to Doncaster, and the scoreboard will remain unchanged and unmoved. It is still Bulls Live Proper Sport. It is Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 8, and let's not forget Doncaster without Jason Maranka. There's no Jack Sanderson, and also no Brad England. Bradford, they have no Dalton Grant, no Vila Halafihi, and of course no Liam Johnson. John Keir deciding to rest those two players. Has he gone into touch on this main stand side? The referee's going to say Jason Tarley just was brought down before the touchline. As Doncaster move the ball on the last tackle now. 25 out from their own line, 25 shy of halfway. It's going to be a kick out of dummy half from Jez Lytton, and Jez Lytton goes on the diagonal to Jai Hitchcox. Hitchcox traps it with his foot. He's up to the Bradford 40. Puts a little bit of a fend on, and Jai Hitchcox is going to be brought down 4 metres shy of halfway. So 8.5 minutes to go to half time here at the Keepmoat Stadium. It has been enthralling rugby league football. A real arm wrestle for the ages. Keys to Laithwaite. Laithwaite on the inside to Brandon Pickersgill. Pickersgill's going to find the support from George Flanagan. And George Flanagan will scamper over the line. And George Flanagan, he was showboating, and he's been pushed dead in goal. What was George Flanagan thinking?
Should have just put the ball down, shouldn't he? It was a great move from Bradford, a great break from Brandon, but that was another 6 points on the board. Don't know what he was doing there.
A try gone begging. George Flanagan turning around, smiling to the Doncaster defenders, and he was pushed over the dead ball line. He's raised his right arm up and looks straight towards John Keir's coaching position here, and he will certainly get the wrath of the experienced John Keir at half time, and that could be a huge mistake from the Bradford Bulls. That will spur Doncaster on. They're going to kick early in the count, once again into space between Pickersgill and Hitchcock's happy to let that one go dead. Doncaster, incidentally, they have the wind behind the backs in this first half, and the scoreboard remains Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 8. And as we've already said, concerning Doncaster and how they're conceding points, they've posted 250. They've only conceded 52 from their opening 6 games in League One. They're conceding an average of 8 points per game, and thus far they've conceded the 8 for the Bulls. But Lee Smith, after Bradford were awarded their 5th penalty. 10 inside the Doncaster half. The referee's going to stop the clock. There's been a collision of heads there between Jez Litton and George Flanagan, and a Doncaster man down in back play as well. So as I was saying, Bulls Live proper sport. Great move from the Bulls. Such a shame that George Flanagan couldn't just put the ball down over the line. A lot of experience from the 31-year-old. Almost reminded me of an incident at Fromall back in 1997. Martin Moana very nearly losing the ball under the sticks in a collision with Stuart Spruce. And you can bet no love no money George Flanagan will get the hairdryer treatment from John Keir at half time. Liam Kirk brought down 30 metres out from that Doncaster line. Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm on that left-hand edge to Ryan. Ethan Ryan tries to penetrate the 10. Brought down just shy. Here goes George Flanagan looking to make amends. He's going to find Pickersgill. Liam Kirk has a tilt on that left-hand edge, and Liam Kirk's going to be brought down a metre shy, if that, of that Doncaster line. Flanagan to Chisholm. Peltier on the field for the Bulls. Joe Keys to Laithwaite. James Laithwaite wrapped up on the last tackle. 10 in from this maidstand side. Flanagan peppers one in. The Bulls have got a try. It's Elliot Michella. He's quickest to react. And the Bulls do have a second try. It's an 11th try of the season from Elliot Michella. He was quickest to react from George Flanagan's kick behind the line.
I think George just redeemed himself there, didn't he? I think what Bradford, if you look, watch what's happening in the game, down the our left-hand side, we seem to be making great progress. Dane's distributing the ball well, and Ethan's making some great breaks. But again, then we switch back, we come to Keys. Laithwaite could have gone over. I just think we just need to focus a bit more on our processes. I think we are doing that, but we're letting Doncaster get under our skin a little bit, and we don't need to do that. Just keep playing the percentages that you've been practicing all week, and it will come. I think it's an important kick now, this one.
Joe Keys, 2 from 2 thus far. Mikey Wood comes on the field. Matt Garside in his 200th career appearance. A solid servant to the part-time game. Teaches in Brighouse as well as playing for the Bradford Bulls. So Joe Keys, 5 metres to the right-hand side of the post. This to give the Bulls 2 valuable points, so it will put them 8 points clear of Doncaster. Fast approaching half-time. Keys, no mistake. Doncaster 8, Bradford Bulls 14. Sorry, Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 14. 4 minutes to go to half-time.
I think we just need to get to our time without conceding again, don't we now? Turn around 2 scores in front. It's not easy. Doncaster are a very big physical side. And they're also showing that they've got some speed through the middle. So, no doubt John sent the message on, let's try and get another score, but also let's keep them out.
Referee has stopped the clock. 3.5 minutes to go to half-time here. Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 14. Tries from Elliot Minchella and Ethan Ryan. Keys 3 from 3 attempts. So, the restart taken by Pickersgill. watching the ball, radar-like, as it dropped from the clouds, and he lent it off there to Kirk. Tackle number 1. Kirk gets to his feet, plays the ball. Flanagan to Peltier. Peltier up to the Bradford 30, 20 shy of halfway. Penalty count, even Stevens. 6 penalties apiece now, and Joe Keys wants to get on with it and take a quick kick to touch. We'll go through some of your comments at half time, but let us know what you think to the standard of the first half. As we said, the top 2 sides here in League One going hell for leather. Flanagan to Wood. Mikey Wood wrapped up on loan from the Huddersfield Giants in 2018, 19 years of age. Flanagan out of dummy half to Chisholm. Chisholm has lost the ball on contact. Liam Wellham and Sam Doherty on that eastern edge there. They ganged up on Dane Chisholm and the ball come loose. It was a fair tackle. And now Doncaster will have the ball with 2.5 minutes to go to half time, and I think Richard Horne will be relatively pleased with how Doncaster have gone. Perhaps a little bit of a lapse in concentration, allowing Elliot Minchella to pounce, but they really have made Bradford work extremely hard for all points this afternoon. It goes from Lytton to Howden to Miller to Harris, and now Liam Harris has come up with the error after Ethan Ryan put a bell ringer on him, and that is Doncaster's 5th error of the afternoon. And with less than 2 minutes remaining on the countdown clock in the ground, Bradford will have a full set of 6 inside the Doncaster 30. A chance for the 3rd try, John.
Let's hope no commentators curse, but Ethan Ryan's having a belting game at the moment. What a great tackle there, and another knock on. Couple of minutes before half time. It'd be nice just to get a couple of points on the board, but great if we can get a try off the back of this.
Mark Asquith says, cracking advert for rugby league, Mick, a great standard. Julie Clough says, how many times has Dane Chisholm dropped the ball? Come on, you Bulls. Bradford from the scrum. They're over on that left-hand edge. Back down the middle, they're going to go with Liam Kirk. Kirk's going to front up, and he's brought down in a 3-man tackle 7 metres away from that Doncaster try line. It's going to go from Flanagan to Peltier. Peltier has lost the ball. It's gone backwards. George Flanagan to make amends. He's over the line, and he's dropped the ball in the act of scoring, and it will be a 20-metre restart for Doncaster. George Flanagan now, John, he's bombed 2 tries.
He has, but you know what? We're arguing with the referee there. We want to get back on the 30-metre line. Decision's given. He ain't going to change his mind. But yeah, 2 bomb tries from George, as you say. Interest in this. They're coming down our right-hand side a lot, Doncaster, but to be honest, doesn't seem to go anywhere at the moment.
I think the reason why Doncaster potentially going down the right-hand side is because you've got James Laithwaite and Jai Hitchcock's down there, and it goes without saying, Jai and James, they both train with the parent clubs, which is of course Toronto and Castleford, so they only have a couple of sessions at Tong, which is the Bradford Bulls training camp each week, so perhaps they'll be saying that there's a lack of cohesion there. Flanagan races out of the defensive line. Jason Tarley unmoved, just shrugs him off, and he's brought down there by Laithwaite and Kirk. Last tackle for Doncaster. James Laithwaite hasn't played at the ball. Tarley has it, and Tarley's going down the middle. Here goes Jason Tarley for Doncaster, and the referee has indeed waved the tackle count clear. And Tarley, 10 tries in 2018. Doncaster, as the hooter sounds, the final play of the match, the first half. They've lost the ball. Pickersgill picks it up. Pickersgill out to Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan still going forward. Are we about to see something miraculous? The referee says no. The tackle was fair. And at half time here at the Keepmoor Stadium in Doncaster, what a thrilling, energising game of rugby league. What a great advert for Betfred. League One. It is half time. It is Doncaster 6. The Bradford Bulls 14. And John Keys, it's got to be said that Doncaster proving tough opposition for the Bradford Bulls this afternoon, and very deserving. You can clearly see why.
Can't have 14 penalties in 40 minutes, can we? Because it's 2 stop-start a game, so I think we just need to be wary of what he's blowing them for. But look, it is what it is. Let's see how we go on this half.
So we're up and running here at the Keepmoat Stadium, round 8. Top of the table Doncaster against second place Bradford. And as we said, it has been proving to be a battle royal. Flanagan in at dummy half on the second tackle. Finds Chisholm. Chisholm to Peltier. Peltier straddles and strides out of one. Can't get past Geordie Hedges. And it's going to be Minchella up and over halfway for the Bulls. Minchella has found the inside support from Brandon Pickersgill. Pickersgill goes past Harris. Here goes Brandon Pickersgill. His first try of the season is it, but he's lost the ball millimetres shy of the line. And that was Elliot Minchella at his brilliant best, racing out a dummy half, attacking the Doncaster markers. A lot of the supporters, they still haven't sat in the seats at the start of the second half. We've had 45 seconds and Brandon Pickersgill agonisingly denied his first try of the season. He was just rolled in the tackle by Liam Harris, and Liam Harris has joined Aaron Jones-Bishop in the try-saving stakes. Bulls Live, proper sport here. Paul Ashworth says another try bombed. Barbara Bratton says great. Harvey Wiles says think the Bulls' fitness will play a big part in the second half. Expect them to take control the longer the game goes on. Spirited effort so far by Doncaster. That's the third try that the Bulls have bombed in this match this afternoon. Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 14, and Doncaster down the middle with Hedges, and Hedges is going to be brought down 2 metres shy of halfway. Centre of the field, Jez Litton out of dummy half, looking to turn around Hitchcocks and Pickersgill. Pickersgill will take the ball back to his try line before he reasserts himself, gets his bearings, and he's brought down 8 shy of the 10. Keys in at dummy half, just down the middle there with Flanagan. George Flanagan turned on his back, gets to his feet, quick play the ball. Here goes Ashley Gibson, and we're seeing one of those sets now from the Bulls, John, albeit straight after half time, where some of the backs just doing the hard yards forward, allowing the forwards to get back in a position.
Yeah, mate, when we've got an exit set, we need to use those big blokes like Gibbo and that, don't we, to make a bit of room. And we've done well, to be honest. We're nearly up to the halfway line here on the last tackle.
Last tackle, says referee Billy Pearson. Just shy of the halfway line. Keys will strike the pose, boot to ball. Inside the Doncaster 10, the ball's bouncing back towards Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan's picked it up. The ball's been knocked on. It's play on. The pass there from Minchella towards Chisholm on this main stand wing has gone into touch. It was the free play, and Bradford will capitalise on Doncaster's 6th error in this match. It will be scrum, head and feet to the Bradford Bulls. We've had 43 minutes gone. A bit of a shaky start from both sides at the start of this second half, but Bradford will look to post more points here.
Interesting though, on your last, when you find the field with your kick, anything can happen, and that's what's just happened here for Bradford. So we've gone 80 metres in that set.
George Flanagan to Keys. Keys to Brandon Pickersgill. Pickersgill thought he'd opened his account in 2018, but then Doncaster did the credit check and they said no good, denied. Ross Peltier 10 metres out from that Doncaster line, down the middle. Here he goes with Captain Kirk. Kirky boys wrapped up, too shy, playing with a broken nose. Still Liam Kirk. Flanagan to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Minchella. Minchella reaches out. He's grounded the ball. His second try of the afternoon. The Bulls will capitalise on Doncaster's 6th error, and it is now 18 points to 6. We've had 44 minutes gone, and what a signing Elliot Minchella has been for John Keir and the Bradford Bulls. 12 tries. We're only at round 8.
Well, standout player of the season so far, isn't he, Elliot? Great signing. It's great that we've scored off that, and again, it came, like I said, the previous set, we've gone 80 metres, we've kicked, we've got a knock on, a couple of plays, and we've got a try. But if you look back at what we've lost already or what we've given up, we'd now be over 30 points. So we do need to get better at executing things. Again, another important kick here. because then we'll still be a couple of scores in front. But yeah, great effort from Elliot, good effort from everyone. But again, I just want to keep us going through the processes all the time, getting to the end of the sets, and then you get results like that.
Great try for the Bradford Bulls, says Chantel. Barbara Batten, go Elliot, you're great. And the Bradford Bulls supporters group saying they would love to have been a fly in the wall in the dressing room after the game. That is going to ask a little bit of bravery of me. Do I ask John Kay that question in the dressing room, in the post-match press conference? I think it warrants an answer. Keys though, 15 metres out from the line, straight between the posts. Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 20. And when we mention that Doncaster's stern defence has only been conceding on average from their opening 6 games in League One, 8.6 points per game, the highest amount that they conceded thus far was against the North Wales Crusaders here at the Keepmoat when they had a 28-20 victory. So as Bradford doing what very few sides have done this season in 2018 and racking up the points against Doncaster. Kirk on the restart, tackle number 1 up to the Bradford 20. Peltier will carry it on the second, just outside the 30. 17 metres shy of halfway. Flanagan to Chisholm. Chisholm to Minchella. Here goes Elliot Minchella again. Here goes Brandon Pickersgill. Brandon Pickersgill back to Chisholm. Chisholm inside the 20 to Mikey Ward. The Bulls are the entertainers. What a try from the Bradford Bulls. Pablo Picasso. Vincent Van Gogh. Move aside. The Bulls have just painted a rugby league masterclass, and that has got the Bulls supporters dancing on the feet.
Well, it was a great try, but what a great sight over the far side of the field watching those Bulls fans celebrate. Brilliant. Do you know what? I thought Mikey Wood was going to throw a big pass there. A bit of show and go and gone back in closer to the sticks. What an amazing try that was. Fantastic effort. Again, the Pickers obviously not that keen on getting to the try line, but you know what? A fantastic try from the Bulls.
That went through 6 players, pair of hands. They went on the zigzag, avoiding the Doncaster players like statues. And as we said, the Bulls in 2018 looking to really entertain. And that is a 4th try of the afternoon. Minchella with a brace. Ethan Ryan and now Mikey Wood. And Mikey Wood has opened his try-scoring account. And I think Picasso, Van Gogh, Michelangelo, that'll have all been proud of that try that was so delicately painted by the Bulls. Keys from in front. It is here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Doncaster 6. The Bradford Bulls 26, and John, in 6 second half minutes, the Bulls have cut free.
Yeah, they have. There's still a long way to go, and Doncaster are no mug, so I'd really like to see Bradford just continue doing what they're doing. This game can change, as we know, on the turn of a sixpence, so I just think I want to see a few more tries running, Mick, if I'm honest, in the next 15 minutes.
Shane Moore says try of the season so far. Doncaster, they've kicked the ball out on the fall. It's going from bad to worse at the start of the second half for Richard Horn's side. Liam Harris holds his hand up and looks a little bit disconsolate there. And Bradford will have more pressure, more territory inside the Doncaster half. Stephen Housecroft, Ross Peltier really is the beast of Bradford. Ashley Smith, brilliant try. Great to see Mikey Wood score. Martin Burgess, keep this up, Bulls, and we will reach the half century. Kia has clearly had an impact at half time. Here at the Keepmoat Stadium, Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 26, 4 tries to 1 in this top of the table clash. Lee Smith will tap it, it goes to Minchella, already with 2 tries this afternoon. He's on for the hat-trick. Flanagan in at dummy half, goes down the middle with Ross Peltier, scoops it up. Ross Peltier, the beast, wrapped up there by 3 Doncaster defenders. And the Dons as they are more formally known and nicknamed, are trying to contain the Bulls here because they're proving unstoppable, they're rampant, and they're now 15 away from the prize. Flanagan to Wood. Mikey Wood's got one, he's won in a second, and he'll turn 5 shy of the Doncaster line underneath the posts. What will George Flanagan do? He'll find Keys. Keys drops the shoulder, tries to pirouette his way to the line. Can't quite get there. Last tackle. And it's going to go back to Dane Chisholm in centre field, you feel. Here it is with Chisholm. Chisholm behind the line, looking for Minchella. But that's great positioning there from Liam Wellham. But Liam Wellham's going to be trapped in goal. And Bradford have forced the goal line drop out. And this is what John Keir says when he mentions about good ball in good field position, John. It's when you're inside the opponent's 20. If you don't force the try, what's the next best thing? Goal line drop out, repeat set. 10 minutes gone at the start of this second half. Doncaster 6, Bulls 26 on Bulls Live and Proper Sport.
Yeah, we're just looking a bit calm. A great little dink through there from Dane, and again, who was there to force the goal line drop out? Elliot Minchella. Yeah, we're looking a bit more dominant now, I think. Still like to see us get a few more scores, if I'm honest, without being silly. Just respect possession, go through the process, and the points will come.
Just had a comment saying, Mick, what was up with David Hockney? David Hockney, of course, a Bradford artist. Well, I thought we'd leave David Hockney out of it. Penalty to the Bradford Bulls, laying on in the tackle, 30 metres out, in front of the post, central field position. Bradford now leading the penalty count 9-7. So they've had 2 penalties at the start of this second half, and they're just going to decline the option of going for 2. They're going to tap it with Kirk, and Kirk's brought down 20 metres out. It's going to go from Flanagan to Keys. Keys brought down there by Jack Downs. Brandon Wilkinson also in defence there. Moves out towards Chisholm. Chisholm to Smith. Smith to Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan is felled there. Ankle top by Liam Wellham. And Ethan Ryan's just gone down in a little bit of discomfort. A little bit groggy there on that right angle. There's nothing wrong with a tackle. You're allowed to ankle tap. And just as Ethan Ryan was past the Doncaster 10 and heading towards the line, Liam Wellham with the ankle tap. And just a special mention for Rhys Lovegrove, who's out there this afternoon, John. Former Bradford player, suffered with depression. Great to see him out there as the water carrier.
Yeah, mate, I'm pretty close to Rhys, actually, from his time at London Broncos, and great to see him back involved. Caught up with him before the game. I'm going to catch up with him after. Good man, got a good family, and great to see him back involved in our sport, because he's the sort of blokes that we need around to encourage the youngsters through.
George Homer asks who the referee is. Billy Pearson from Wakefield. It's the 4th time the Bulls have had Billy Pearson this season, so he's becoming a regular part of the commentary team and the fittings with Proper Sport and Bulls Live. So, Bradford, underneath the sticks, 8 metres out. Flanagan looks to his options, finds Peltier. Peltier along the line to Keys. Keys to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Gibson. Gibson, though, wrapped up by Tarley and Jones Bishop. And he's gone into touch there as Gibson. And it will be scrum, head and feet to Doncaster. So when you've conceded 2 quick tries, John, at the start of the second half, you look for positives. You look for a reaction. I think Richard Horn's just seen it there. Scrum to the Dons. 10 out from their own line. 28 minutes remain.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's not a great end to the set for that to happen. But again, we've turned the ball over 10 metres from the Doncaster line. But yeah, Richard's seen a bit of a reaction from his blokes there.
York currently beating the West Wales Raiders by 90 points to 0. West Wales Raiders, the visitors to Odsal on Sunday. And with such a huge score being posted by James Ford's side at Bootham Crescent this afternoon, that will take York top of the table going into next weekend's round 9 fixtures. Doncaster deep inside their own half. Line break from Mariano. Mariano just collided with Peltier, and Mariano will have to play the ball 10 shy of the halfway line. It's going to go to Hedges. Hedges wrapped up on the 5th and last. Great tackle there from Mikey Wood, who's been really throwing his weight around in defence. The ricochet from Miller. It's been picked up by Minchella, and that will be the 0 tackle after the Doncaster error. And Bradford in good field position here. We've got 26 minutes remaining here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Doncaster against Bradford, and thus far so good from the Bradford Bulls, who lead Doncaster by 26 points to 6. It goes from Flanagan to Chisholm, Chisholm to Wood. Mikey Wood really, along with Liam Johnson, enjoying life at Odsal. Speak to him regularly at Tong, and certainly they'd like their stay to continue. Pickersgill, 20 out from the Doncaster line, centre of the field. Chisholm, quick hands to Smith. Forward pass though, line ball, flat call. Can't not agree or disagree with that one. Touch judging, great position, and a little bit of complacency there creeping into the Bulls. And after that blistering start, John, it's gone into a bit of an arm wrestle mode again.
We've just given possession away for absolutely no reason on the third tackle after a kick got charged down, and I don't understand that. Process. The last 2 tries have been from processes. We don't need to overplay, do we? We're way in front here. Just relax.
Sean Dixon commenting that Doncaster, they can't get out of their own half at the minute. Bradford's defence really turning them over. They're on that left-hand edge, and that is the Papua New Guinean, Jason Tarley. Tarley's wrapped up, 15 shy of halfway. Tarley, of course, featured over here in the 2013 World Cup. Played in 2 of the games at Craven Park. They're now moving it with the big man, Boyle. Boyle offloads the ball in the tackle, but he's going to be wrapped up there by Minchella and Chisholm. They're on the halfway line of Doncaster. Jez Litton in at dummy half. Now they go down the middle with Boyle. Last tackle, Doncaster, 5 metres inside the Bradford half as Jez Litton puts boot to ball out of dummy half. Brandon Pickersgill takes that one from the clouds. 5 out from his own try line, and he's going to turn around and face the yellow and blue shirted Doncaster defence just outside his own 10. Lee Smith out of dummy half to Ethan Ryan, and Ethan Ryan now on tackle number 2, just shy of the 20. Bradford take the pass from Smith. Smith offloads the ball, comes off the head of Flanagan. Although the ball's been stolen, 2 in the tackle, says the referee, as James Laithwaite has lost the ball. And Bradford now leading the penalty count, 10 penalties to 7. And Doncaster's ill discipline just costing them, because Joe Keys has found touch over on the far stand side. The last meeting between these 2 sides, incidentally, it was Bradford 72, Doncaster 6. They met at Odsal on the 7th of June 3 years ago. Steve Crossley, the only Bull survivor from that game, he scored 2 tries. This, of course, his 3rd return, his 3rd resurrection. Laithwaite through an almighty hole. Laithwaite inside to George Flanagan, and at the 3rd time of asking, George Flanagan will score. There's no showboating before the put down. There's plenty afterwards, and that means a lot to Bradford-born George Flanagan. It is a 5th try of the afternoon for the Bradford Bulls. It is Doncaster 6, Bradford 30, 5 metres to the right-hand side of the upright. And with 23 minutes remaining, John, that potentially could be the game breaker.
It could be, but interesting for me, we didn't do anything silly there, did we, in that set? We won a penalty, kicked the ball downfield, gone through 2 plays, and on the 3rd one we've scored, because we're not trying to do too much. Everyone's got a big part to play in this game yet, and that might just put us out of sight, but you know what, with 20 minutes to go, I think there's a lot more points on offer here today. Need to keep the momentum going.
Colin Rhodes says, get in. Alan Preston, come on you Bulls. And Tim Beasley says, not seen so much rugby league in a long time before being told about this from my brother. Keep up the great work. Proper sport and Bulls live. Mark Cummings, nothing wrong with the picture. What a great performance. And Daniel Harrison says, yes, get in. Gorgeous George. And Lindsay Robinson says, about time. Matt Murdoch-Gilbert, he's our man on the ground at the Bootham Crescent. York winning 102 points to 0. Damien Irvine says a very professional performance. Reece Robinson, class commentary. Thank you very much, Reece. Don't forget, next Sunday, Proper Sport Bulls Live from Odsal, Bradford against the West Wales Raiders. Keys made no mistake from in front. 6 from 6 attempts. 100% accuracy from Joe Keys this afternoon. And it is Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 32, and we are 30 seconds shy of hitting the hour mark here at the Keepmoat. So, going into the final quarter, it has been a great performance from the Bulls. Pickersgill out of dummy half once again to Mikey Wood. Mikey Wood's going to be in contention for the man of the match, you feel. It goes to Flanagan to Laithwaite. Laithwaite brought down too shy of the halfway line over on the far stand side. Flanagan back down the middle to Keys. Keys to Bustin, and Callum Bustin making another 8+ metre carry there. And that'll be the last tackle for the Bulls. Flanagan to Keys. Keys looking to find out where the fullback was. It's Jordan Howden who's now moved from the halfback role to shore up that defensive line. So Harris and Miller now are going to be in the halves for Doncaster. And Doncaster are going to get a penalty. 10-8 now the count. And the referee is going to be saying laying on in the tackle. They wanted to get a move on. And they're going to find touch. 25 out from the halfway line. Doherty is going to find Litton. Oh, big collision there on Wellham and Chisholm. Crossley comes in as the second man, and Wellham is going to be manhandled like damaged goods, 5 shy of the halfway line. Litton to Cross. Cross to Boyle. Boyle to Harris, and Harris is wrapped up by Keys. Joe Keys, like a ferret there, racing out of that defensive line and going up his pants, wrapped up just inside the Bulls half there. 19 minutes remaining. Betfred League One, Proper Sport Bulls Live. Doncaster need points. The battle in the scoreboard, and also the clock, and also this Bradford Bulls defensive line. Jez Litton, he's offloaded the ball to James Laithwaite. One can only imagine, John, that James Laithwaite had called for the ball there because Jez Litton didn't know who was behind him, and Bradford come up with the ball once again. Another Doncaster error.
Yeah, but you know what? There was lots of holes then across the line. If you look, we don't want to get too complacent here. Do a broken record time. Keep going through what you're doing. Keep talking. We need to try and keep them out here, don't we? And try and post some more points ourselves.
Bradford 10 shy of halfway. Referee's just going to stop the clock. Jai Hitchcock has taken an elbow to the face there. The touch judge comes on. The referee, I think, is just going to speak to both captains now, John. He's asking who the Bradford captain is. That, of course, will be Lee Smith. I don't think he's going to give a penalty, John. I think he's just going to try and cut down some of the niggliness that's just creeping in.
He's put it on report, actually, Mick, whatever happened just there, and I think he's just told them all to calm down. So you're right, no penalty, but whatever's happened there, the touch judge spotted something. It'll be interesting to find out what that is.
Angie Taylor, great coverage once again. Bulls Live, Proper Sport. The commentary makes me feel as if I am actually at the game. Steve Crossley's brought down on the last tackle. Keys to Jones Bishop. Jones Bishop takes it on the full. Jones Bishop is brought down by Wood, Flanagan and Bustin. 15 shy of the halfway line. Doncaster moving the ball over on this right-hand edge. Wellham. It's going to go to Mariano. Mariano goes straight into Lee Smith and Garside, and Crossley comes in as the third man. A loud, shrill held from the referee as it goes from Cross. Cross to Harris. Harris to Tarley, and Jason Tarley. 10 tries prior to this game. He's been kept really quiet this afternoon from the Bulls. Harris to Cross. Cross is going to put one behind Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan dives on that, and he recovers the ball. And with 16 and a half minutes remaining here at the Keepmoat Stadium. The scoreboard will remain Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 32. And Lee Smith will have the ball in at dummy half. He's going to find Ethan Ryan. And as we said, Ethan Ryan, one of the bright young things that have come through the Bradford Bulls Academy. Hitchcocks to Laithwaite. Laithwaite to Gibson. Gibson's brought down on his own 20. Third tackle gone. As we said, John, the arm wrestle slowly developing here. It's almost like the game of chess. Keys to Wood, and Mikey Wood has left Ryan Boyle down in back play. And Mikey Wood, he wants to get up and play the ball, but that was some collision.
Yeah, I think Doncaster are getting a little bit rattled at the moment, I don't know why. The game's just going with the amount of possession that's been had. But again, I don't know why we've made a 25-yard pass out to the wing and haven't gone anywhere. I don't know whether we're tired or we need to make a couple of changes, but just seem to have lost a little bit of momentum going forward at the moment.
Well, the referee has just stopped the clock here while Ryan Boyle, who joined Doncaster from Halifax on a 2-year deal in the close season, and as we mentioned pre-match in the pre-match amble, they've got a great pedigree here. You've got Connor Bauer, Liam Harris, Jez Litton, who's out there this afternoon, Jordan Lane, Ross Osborne, Jack Sanderson, and if those type of players don't make it at Hull FC under Lee Radford, then there's the huge potential that they potentially could find themselves working under Richard Horne here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Ryan Boyle will get the crowd's round of applause. He's thankfully back to his feet, and he will go down the tunnel for the head assessment test. So replacing Ryan Boyle will be Connor Scott, as we said, one of those Hull FC loanees for the 2018 season. And we mentioned the last meeting between Bradford and Doncaster. There was a lot of crazy points at Odsall. The last meeting here at the Keepmoat Stadium, incidentally, was Doncaster 38, Bradford 56. There was 18 tries scored that afternoon, and that was almost 3 years ago to the day. Jake Mullaney, remember him? He scored a hat-trick that afternoon, and that was an interesting game to commentate on. So, Ryan Boyle goes down the tunnel. Bradford, expansive play. Smith to Ryan. Ryan's just put a foot in touch there. Great cover tackle by Liam Wellham. He really did fly in on Ethan Ryan, who was herring away down this main stand side. And you've got to go back to the 1st of August 1971 for the last time Doncaster had any luck against Bradford. They beat Bradford Northern 12 points to 4 at Tattersfield. That was 47 years ago. Who remembers Tattersfield? What a ground that was. Here goes Harris from the base of the scrum. Doncaster need points quick because there is 17 minutes to go to full time here, and we're about to see Sam Hallis come on the field, which will be John Keir's 8th interchange of the afternoon. Here goes Connor Scott. Connor Scott wrapped up by Chisholm. 2 tackles remaining in the bag. It goes to Harris. Harris along the line. The kick's going to come in, looking for Jones Bishop. It has just beaten Jones Bishop, showing a lot of acrobatics there, contorting his body, but the ball just beat him, and a clever kick from Charlie Martin, it must be said. It went behind Keys, Laithwaite and Gibson, and Jones Bishop just putting boot to ball and kicking it on the second bounce, but just over the dead ball line. So the score remains on Proper Sport and Bulls Live. Doncaster 6, Bradford 32, and a forward pass picked up by the referee. So, Bradford penalised for being out of sync here, John.
Well, what are we doing? Why are we trying to throw that pass on a 7-tackle set? What, I just don't understand that at all there from Jai. And also, as I said, we just look a bit tired. I don't think it was a forward pass, but I don't even know why we're doing it. Just carry the ball as we have been, get to good ball and execute.
John Graham with a flashback to the High Clon days. I remember Keith Mumby's debut back in the early 70s. Record score up to that point. Bradford Northern 72, Doncaster 9 at Odsall. That was 1972, I do believe. Bradford getting revenge for that defeat at Tattersfield the year earlier. Great rugby league memories here at Keepmoat Stadium, 2018. Former Bradford Academy product Brandon Wilkinson has gone without the ball, and Ethan Ryan will give him a pat on the back. And that's great sportsmanship to see, to be fair, John. It proves that once you've come through the system, there's always a bit of part of you that's still a bull.
Yeah, I think so. And it's interesting, isn't it, when you get here before these games and all the players are all talking to each other like they're all good mates, which is fantastic. Ethan Ryan had a big game today, you know. It's going to be a close one to call today between him and Minchella, but both had huge games for the Bulls today.
Well, the attendance has just been given 2,780. Doncaster's highest crowd of the season, swelled once again by the red, amber and black travelling army. Hallis out of dummy half to Mikey Wood. Look at Mikey Wood. He's taking the pain, the punishment, and he's up to halfway there in a two-man tackle by Mariano and Scott. It goes from Keys to Laithwaite. Really impressed with James Laithwaite's contribution. The 10 metres inside the Doncaster half. It's going to go from Hallis to Busting. Busting wrapped up, 30 out, last tackle. What can Joe Keys or Chisholm do on the last? Hang time from Chisholm, going to put Howden under pressure. Ethan Ryan was nudged there by Jordan Howden. A cynical penalty, using the shoulder. Bradford's 11th of the afternoon, 10 metres out, and they're going to hunt a 6th try, you feel. Hallis taps it, goes down the middle with Crossley. Crossley wrapped up 2 metres shy of the line. Brandon Pickersgill in the pocket, goes to Chisholm. Pickersgill won't get the ball. Chisholm has hold of it. Chisholm finds Garside, and Garside's going to be brought down there by Spears. The ball's gone backwards. Doncaster have it on the free play, and the chance has gone begging, and Doncaster forced into touch there. Although the referee's going to say a penalty, and he's going to say Sam Hallis and Ethan Ryan dragged the Doncaster winger, Sam Doherty, into touch. So I think, John, if you're going to take any negatives out of this game, Bradford have been a little bit wasteful with ball in hand inside the Doncaster 20.
Why have we just done that again on another set of good ball? White line fever's kicked in here. We just need to keep doing what we were doing in the first 10 minutes of this half. Because that's just a waste of possession.
Doncaster to Brandon Wilkinson. Wilkinson brought down by Busting. Penalty count incidentally creeping up towards 20. It's at 11-9. And Doncaster moving the ball to this right-hand edge. Wood, Crossley, Smith in defence. Litton out of dummy half to Wilkinson. Wilkinson wrapped up. 2 Bradford men in the tackle. And credit to Doncaster, they've not conceded any points in the last 12 minutes now, as we've seen a bit of an arm wrestle, and that will argue well for Doncaster in their next match, which will be away against the London Scholars in the capital. Jez Litton, out of dummy half, kicks straight down the throat of Brandon Pickersgill, and Brandon Pickersgill makes 10-15 metres on the recovery, and he's 15 shy of halfway. Hitchcock's in at dummy half to Gibson. Gibson brought down, 10 shy of halfway. Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 32. Bulls live, proper sport. Hallis to Garside. Doncaster inside the 10, and that is the 21st penalty of the afternoon. And a chance for the Bulls, John.
Yeah, good penalty. There's probably 13 or 14 minutes left, I think. I'm not sure about the clocks here, to be honest, but we just need to settle down a bit. I can see Keys waving his arm telling people to calm down, and we're just being a bit wasteful with possession at the moment, Mick, if I'm honest. Not a lot of flow to the game. Just need to get through the set, don't we?
Matt Garside working tirelessly for John Keir's side. It'll be a vital 2 points picked up from the Bradford Bulls this afternoon. As we said, that cricket score or basketball score, whichever way you want to look at it, between York and West Wales Raiders, that will see York move top of the table, but Bradford will join them level on points. And now a 20-second penalty in the afternoon as Steve Crossley catches the Doncaster markers. Not square and inside the 10. So, final 10 minutes here. Doncaster against the Bulls. Proper sport, Bulls live. Hallis to Wood. Mikey Wood brought down 3 metres from the whitewash. Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm trying to dance his way towards the line, and he's wrapped up on top of the line, millimetres shy. He'll get up and he'll play the ball. Hallis tries to pinch one, and Hallis has coughed the ball up in the act of scoring. And I think, John, you might focus on them as negatives, but Bradford have bombed 4 tries in this match. A bit more composure, a bit more restraint. That's another 24 points.
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about that. For me, I just saw Joe Keys screaming at Sam Alistair, what are we doing when they're calling other plays? And I agree with him a little bit. We're just overplaying. We don't need no one. It don't matter who scores these points, as long as we score. To me, we've lost our composure a bit here, and we all just need to settle down and calm down a little bit. Yeah, all right, we might have bombed 4 tries, but the big thing for me is that we leave here with 2 points. That's all we've got to do.
Joe Keys just got a little bit excited, touched the ball in flight as Doncaster moved the ball over on the far stand side, and it will be a repeat set for Richard Horne's side. And I don't think the viewers can tell on the pictures just how windy it is here. Bradford have the wind behind them in this second half, and almost feels like we're playing towards a subdued conclusion. But what a great attendance here. Just shy of 3,000 fans. Doncaster's biggest crowd of the season. 2,780. And Bradford know round 9 fast approaching next Sunday, and the West Wales Raiders will be the visitors to Odsal for a second time in 2018. Here goes Liam Wellham though down the middle. Wellham's lost the ball as Ethan Ryan came in at the side, and that was a try-saving tackle from Ethan Ryan, and Ethan Ryan gets the high fives, the pat on the back from Gibbo, Smithy and Pickersgill, also Chizzy, and the score remains Doncaster 6, Bradford Bulls 32 with 6 minutes to go.
In this game, and it's interesting, it's just happened again. We're going into collision and the man is still standing and managing to offload the ball. That's what caused that problem there. We've switched off a bit. We've got Crossley and Ethan Ryan, mate. Steve Crossley, a front rower, making a try-saving tackle on the 20-metre line. When we go into collision, we've got to wrap the ball up and put the guy on the floor.
David Raystrick saying, do York have time to set a new record score? Huddersfield 142 against the Blackpool Gladiators in the Regal Trophy, 26th of November 1994. I remember buying the Old League Weekly and seeing that score as a 10-year-old and thinking, wow. Hallis to Garside. Garside down this left-hand edge, looking for opportunities, trying to expose any defensive frailties in this Doncaster defence, and he's brought down just outside the 20. 5 in from touch. Hallis scoops it up to Chisholm. Lateral movement with the ball from the Bulls. Chisholm and Keys. Keys is going to be wrapped up there by Martin. And Martin in a 2-man tackle by Martin and Harris just outside the 20. Here goes Steve Crossley. 12 metres shy of the Doncaster line. 6 minutes remaining. Busting to Chisholm. Chisholm crossfield kick. Looking for Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan just through the fingertips. Chance gone begging. It was the last tackle. It will be a play the ball to Doncaster on their own 10-metre line. Well, when you think back to record scores, certainly in the Super League era, you think back to when Leeds Rhinos in '98 defeated the Huddersfield Giants. 86 points to 6. And then you go back to 2000 and that sunny afternoon at Odsal. Bradford Bulls 96. The Salford City Reds, as they were then known, 16. It was 48-0 at half-time, and I remember the then Salford head coach Carl Harrison speaking to the media after the game and just saying these words: what do you say to your side when it is 48-0 at half-time? 5 minutes remaining here then at the Keepmoat. Doncaster, credit to be said, they've kept firing, kept fighting, they've not rolled over easily, they've made Bradford work hard for the points. And on the last tackle, after some solid defensive structure, once again, Doncaster are going to have to try something a little bit unorthodox. And the kick through there from Liam Harris. We'll see Jordan Howden inside the 10. And I think that is penalty number 24 now for the afternoon. And Bradford have the ball 10 metres inside the Doncaster half. Centre field, 4.5 minutes remaining. Liam Kirk comes on for the final 3.5 minutes. Steve Crossley heads to the bench, and the sun just coming behind the clouds. Don't forget, at full time we'll give you a full roundup of all the Championship, Super League and Betfred League One scores. 144-0 it currently is. York City Knights, an avalanche of points at Bootham Crescent. Callum Busting, 5 metres out from the Doncaster line, to Keys, to Pickersgill to Chisholm. Chisholm kicks forward for Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan dives valiantly as he watches the ball skittle over the dead ball line. And there's going to be one final change for Doncaster head coach Richard Horn, as Jack Downs, wearing 30, will come on, and that'll be the 10th and final interchange. Referee not happy that Liam Harris kicked the ball in the correct spot there. And you think back to this fantastic attendance, 2,780, the highest record crowd for Doncaster. That was set back in 1952. 17,000 for the visit of Bradford Northern. That was at the old York Road Greyhound Stadium. If there's anybody watching who remembers the York Road Greyhound Stadium, what a quaint ground that was. Very, very eye-catching. So Doncaster 15 shy of the halfway line. Downs along the line. Harris wrapped up. Quick play the ball. Jez Litton out of dummy half into the back of Matt Garside. He'll now straighten up, and he's immediately going to be smothered there by Hallis and Peltier. And I think this game's going to be remembered for that magnificent try to Mikey Wood. 6 players, pairs of hands. That one will be on the highlights reel, and I'm sure supporters will watch that over and over again. The Bulls, the entertainers of League One in 2018, they're going to move joint clear at the top of the table with York. Kick comes in from Harris. Harris is taken there by Jai Hitchcocks, and Hitchcocks wrapped up just outside the 20. And we've now got 90 seconds remaining here at the Keepmoat on the clock to our left. Alice to Ethan Ryan. So it's looking like the York City Knights in 2018, they're going to post the record score. Michael Adlington, big thanks to Proper Sport and Doncaster for the live stream, watching from Cheltenham. Angie Taylor, nearly 3,000 at the Keepmoat, goes to show that live streaming does not have an adverse effect on the crowd. I'd certainly agree with that. Andrew Chalmers has made quite a few comments in the media. So Bradford, final minute, 50 seconds remaining. Keys on the halfway line. Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm looking for touch. I think it's just going to trickle dead, which it will do. 7 tackle set coming up for Doncaster. And as we said, Thank you very much to Doncaster for allowing the Proper Sports Bulls live stream to go ahead. And the noise in the background, that's the Bulls supporters. They know that it will be win number 6 of the season for John Keir's side from the 7 games played. They will have 12 points and they will remain second in the table. Just points differential separating York and Bradford. And Doncaster, they'll remain in third on 10 points. So Callum Bustine wrapped up 10 metres inside the Doncaster half. 10 seconds remaining here at the Keepmoat. It goes to Hallis. Hallis to Keys. And we're going to see some Keys magic. Keys wrapped up on the Doncaster 30. And we're going to see the 25th penalty of the afternoon. And the penalty count running away from Doncaster in the second half. Laying on in the tackle there. And Joe Keys will have time to find touch in the corner. And Bradford via Gibson. It goes to Keys. Keys to Peltier. The clock says we're into a minute of added on time here at the Keepmoat. Peltier is going to be... Peltier wins the penalty. And Doncaster getting penalised again, John, here.
Yeah, great run by Ross. I tell you what, that was a real good ankle tap there from the fella that missed him the first time. Bradford could get another score here. I don't know what's wrong, but the clock is obviously running on because of the stop. There's 60 seconds to go. We can get another score here.
Yeah, John Keir very animated. The clock... Callum Bustin then. Tackle number 1. Hallis to Kirk. Liam Kirk trying to reach out in vain. Hallis to Keys. Bradford trying to open. Doncaster up. Ashley Gibson. Can he get the ball down? He's over the Doncaster line in the corner. And with 40 seconds remaining now, says the timekeeper, the hooter will sound. And it is job well done for John Keir and the Bradford Bulls. They have defeated Doncaster by 32 points to 6 on Bulls Live and Proper Sport this afternoon, John. Before I ask you for the Proper Sport man of the match, we'll just ask you for the summation, please. 80 minutes in 80 seconds.
Yeah, real good performance from Bradford. I think what we could have done was made more of the possession in the last 15 minutes, if I'm honest. I think we were trying too much and trying to put on too many special plays. Defence was good. I mean, in the first half, defended 3 or 4 sets in a row, as you know. But listen, job done. It's about leaving these places with 2 points, and that's what we've done, and scored some nice tries in the meantime. Man of the match today, little drum roll. I'm actually going to give it to Elliot Minchella, because I think in the second half, start of the second half, outstanding. And for me, just been one of the signings of the year for us. But he's doing it week in, week out. So today's Proper Sport man of the match is Elliot Minchella.
Angie Taylor, fab game, great coverage, better than the BBC and Sky. Christine Storick, thanks again, Proper Sport, great picture and commentary. Lynn Bancroft, way to go the Bulls, well done, another great result. Daniel Harrison, yes, get in Bradford. Matthew Benyon says he'll see me at Doncaster for the train home. Mark Robinson, this has been Proper Sport. Chrissy Keys-Webb, great commentary. Julie Lightower, good win for the Bulls. And Angie Taylor commenting once again, well done Elliot Minchella. The Bradford Bull supporters group, thanks Mick, John, Proper Sports for the awesome coverage and commentary. Great win for the boys, and this is great to see once again here. The Bradford Bulls and Doncaster players, the gladiators of Betfred League One, they're going over to celebrate with their supporters. As we said, a massive crowd for League One, 2,780 at the Keepmoat this afternoon. Keith Farrell, thanks for the coverage, Proper Sport. Denise Lindley, well done. I've watched the game from Denmark. Very good game. Simon Giles.